Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English Unlocked. I'm Emma, and I am so happy to spend the next 15 minutes with you because today we are tackling a massive question that keeps millions of language learners awake at night. Can you really become fluent in English in just 5 months? Spoiler alert. Yes, you absolutely can. But forget about those magical applications that promise you fluency in 5 minutes a day while you sleep or brush your teeth. That is a total lie. Today, I am going to give you the honest, step-by-step strategy that actually works in the real world. Before we jump in, let me share a rather embarrassing little secret with you. Years ago, I was completely desperate to get fluent. I fell for every single marketing trap on the internet. I bought audiobooks that promised to teach me English through subconscious hypnosis while I slept. I even spent money on expensive miracle pills that supposedly boosted the language centers of my brain. Spoiler, they just gave me a terrible stomachache and made me look foolish. It was only when I dropped all that nonsense and created a real strategic routine that everything changed. And make sure you stay with me until the very end, because the fourth and final habit I am going to share is the exact one that played the absolute biggest role in my breakthrough. It was my ultimate secret weapon, and it will change your life too. First, we need to talk about what fluency actually means, because most people have a completely wrong definition in their heads. Many students believe that being fluent means speaking absolutely perfectly, like an Oxford professor or a Hollywood actor, without a single mistake. That is complete nonsense. Fluency simply means that your words flow naturally, like water down a river, without you having to stop, freeze, and translate sentences in your mind before opening your mouth. Fluency means you can comfortably discuss everyday topics, explain your thoughts, order a meal, ask for directions, or chat with a colleague without experiencing a mini panic attack. Even native speakers make grammar mistakes all the time, trust me. We're not aiming for absolute perfection here. We're aiming for natural, effective communication. So, how do we achieve this in exactly 5 months? It all comes down to a simple math formula that combines quantity and quality. Let's start with quantity. If you asked language experts, they'll tell you that it takes about 600 hours of focused practice to reach a solid, confident level of conversational fluency. If you spread 600 hours over 5 months, that breaks down to roughly 20 hours a week, or about 3 hours every single day. Now, please don't close this video and run away in panic. I can hear you screaming through the screen already. 3 hours a day sounds completely terrifying, right? You have a job, you have a family, you have chores, you have a life. You cannot just sit at a desk staring at a boring grammar textbook for 3 hours straight. Honestly, if you did that, your brain would probably melt by day 3. The secret is to break those 3 hours into tiny, manageable pieces throughout your day. For example, you can spend 40 minutes in the morning listening to an English podcast while you're making breakfast and getting dressed. Then you can use 20 minutes during your lunch break to review new vocabulary words on your phone. In the evening, you can watch a 45-minute episode of your favorite TV show in English. And right before bed, you can spend another 40 minutes practicing speaking out loud to yourself. See? When you break it down like that, it effortlessly becomes a natural part of your daily routine. You don't have to change your entire life. You just have to change the language of your life. But the number of hours you invest is only half of the puzzle. The quality of those hours is what truly matters. You could leave an English radio station playing in the background for 10 hours while you clean your house, but if you are completely ignoring it, your brain will learn absolutely nothing. Passive listening is a total waste of your precious time. You need active, focused engagement. To get the highest quality out of your practice, you must use something called comprehensible input. This is just a fancy way of saying that the material you choose must match your current level. It needs to be challenging enough to push you forward, but not so difficult that you feel completely lost and miserable. If you try to read a highly advanced academic paper about quantum physics when you are still a beginner, you will understand about 5% of the words. You will get frustrated, you will cry, and you will go eat a box of cookies to feel better. By the way, eating cookies is great, but it won't help your English. You want to aim for material where you understand about 80% of what is being said. That 20% of unknown words is your sweet spot. That is where real learning happens naturally through context. Another massive pillar of fluency is building a functional vocabulary. One of the biggest myths in language learning is that you need to memorize tens of thousands of words to speak fluently. That is a complete illusion. In daily life, native speakers use a surprisingly small number of words to handle 90% of their conversations. You don't need to know highly advanced, rare words like metamorphosis or subatomic to have a fantastic conversation with someone at a party. You just need to master the top 3,000 most common words and phrases. Focus heavily on words that describe your daily life, your job, your hobbies, your feelings, and your routine. A small, sharp, highly practical vocabulary that you can use instantly is 1,000 times better than a massive warehouse of words in your head that you freeze up trying to remember. Now let's talk about the absolute foundation of everything, which is active listening. Listening is the superpower of language learning. When you actively listen to English, you aren't just learning words, you are training your brain to absorb the natural rhythm, the intonation, the melody, and the unspoken rules of the language. You start to notice how native speakers connect their words together. They don't pronounce each word separately like a computer, they blend them. For instance, they rarely say, "What are you going to do?" They say, "What you gonna do?" The more you train your ear to catch these natural shortcuts, the easier it will be for your mouth to replicate them when you speak. But let's be totally honest here. The biggest barrier to fluency isn't a small vocabulary, and it certainly isn't bad grammar. The absolute biggest barrier is fear. It is the terrifying fear of making a mistake and sounding silly. We are so afraid of someone judging us that we prefer to stay completely silent. But think about how human babies learn to talk. They don't sit in a corner for 2 years studying grammar charts before they say their first word. They just start blabbering. They make a million mistakes. They mispronounce everything. They say things totally wrong, and everyone smiles and cheers for them. You need to adopt that exact same baby mindset. Mistakes are not failures. Mistakes are the literal evidence that you are trying and pushing your boundaries. Every single mistake you make is an opportunity to learn something new. If people can understand the general meaning of what you are trying to say, you are winning the game. To build your confidence without any pressure, you need to train like an athlete. Think about a champion tennis player. They don't just walk onto the court for a major tournament without practicing their swing 1,000 times against a wall. You need to use the power of repetition. When you learn a new word or a practical phrase, don't just look at it once in a notebook and turn the page. You will forget it by tomorrow morning. Use spaced repetition. Take that new phrase and use it in 5 completely different sentences out loud throughout your day. If you learn the word opportunity, don't just memorize the definition. Say out loud, "This is a great opportunity." Then later, "I want a new job opportunity." Then in the evening, "Missing dinner is a bad opportunity." Keep repeating it until the word feels completely natural in your mouth. Say it out loud so your ears get used to the sound of your own voice speaking English. This builds muscle memory, so when you need that word in a real conversation, your brain won't have to search for it, it will just jump out automatically. Now we have reached the final stage, the exact habit that completely saved my own fluency journey when I was ready to give up. I call it creating English-only zones in your life. You do not need to pack your bags, buy an expensive plane ticket, and move to London or New York to immerse yourself in the language. That is just an old excuse. You can create a perfect digital and physical English environment right where you live, completely for free. First, do something small but incredibly powerful. Change the language settings on your smartphone and your computer to English. Think about how many times a day you look at your phone. Dozens of times. By making this simple switch, you force your brain to constantly navigate, read, and think in English during those tiny moments of your day. Second, customize your entertainment. Stop watching movies or TV shows dubbed in your native language. That is a luxury you cannot afford for the next 5 months. Switch the audio to English. If you need help, start with subtitles in your native language. As you get more comfortable, switch to English subtitles, and eventually, turn the subtitles completely off. Listen to English music and actually look up the lyrics to understand the story behind the song. Listen to English podcasts while you're doing the laundry or cleaning your apartment. And finally, create physical zones in your own home where your native language is completely banned. For example, make your kitchen an English-only zone. When you walk into the kitchen to make a sandwich, you must think and speak only in English. Talk to yourself like a television chef. Say out loud, "Now I am taking the bread. I am spreading the butter. Where is the cheese? Ah, the cheese is in the fridge." If you have a pet, make them your exclusive English partner. My cat only understands English because I talk to him in English all day long. Honestly, he completely ignores me in English, but at least he ignores me with a very elegant British attitude. To make this 5-month journey truly successful, you need a balanced approach that trains all 4 core language skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Each skill supports the others. Reading teaches your brain correct sentence structures and expands your vocabulary naturally. Writing helps you organize your thoughts calmly without the pressure of a real-time conversation. Keeping a simple daily journal in English, where you write just 5 sentences about your day before bed, is an incredible way to solidify what you learned. Listening trains your ear for pronunciation, and speaking activates all that knowledge and turns it into a living skill. You can find amazing online language communities completely for free. Use apps like Tandem or Hello Talk to connect with native speakers who want to learn your native language. It's a perfect, beautiful exchange. You help them, they help you, and you build real conversation reflexes with real people. I won't lie to you. Trying to achieve fluency in 5 months is a very ambitious and challenging goal. There will be days when you feel incredibly tired. There will be days when you feel frustrated, when you feel like you aren't making any progress at all, and you will want to throw your books out the window. That is completely normal. Language learning is never a straight line that goes perfectly up. It is a roller coaster. When you hit a rough day, remind yourself of your why. Why do you want to learn English? Is it to get a better job and earn more money? Is it to travel the world confidently without needing a tour guide? Is it to watch your favorite movies without waiting for translations? Keep that vision clearly in your mind. Break your grand goal into tiny daily milestones. Celebrate the small victories. If you learned 5 new words today, you are a winner. If you understood a single line of a song without help, celebrate it. You can absolutely do this. Fluency is well within your reach if you show up every single day with consistency, focus, and a positive mindset. Stop waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect school. Start today, right now, with what you have. If you found this lesson helpful and want to keep unlocking your English potential with me, please hit that subscribe button right now and click the notification bell so you never miss a weekly workout here on English Unlocked. And now, I really want to hear from you. Please leave a comment down below and tell me, what is the single biggest challenge that stops you from speaking English right now? Is it the fear of making grammar mistakes? Or does your mind just go completely blank when you try to speak? Let's talk about it in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Keep practicing, stay incredibly curious, and I will see you in our next lesson. Bye!